What's up, everybody? This is Rob Barrington here, and this is the results video from the tournament that we completed on March 19th. And here is your updated professional leaderboard. You have not much has changed because no pros scored any extra points this past weekend. You get 1 point for actually playing, and the results here had the top 10 is all amateurs basically this week. So you guys kept the pros out of the mix. So everybody got 1 point here if you played, and here is the updated leaderboard with 1 week left to go. And anything can happen here, right? You get 25 points for the win. So any of these players with a good showing next week could take home the title. And even players that aren't actually on this list at this moment have a shot. So we'll see an exciting last week of the tournament for sure. But let's jump into this last week and see what results awaited us. And to be honest, the pros, all of us started poorly initially with the first two boards. It's pretty funny. And here's that first board, and here are my results, actually. You can see the first two results were pretty brutal, and I have to say, the first board, as bad as it was, me letting them make two spades, or me and the robot helping to let them make two spades, was not the worst result on this board. Let's take a look at board number one. The best result here was honestly starting with something different than one no trump. You can see my auction here. I decided to go a little bit outside the box and overcall a no trump, which I have to be honest, most pros did. But when it went two spades, pass back to me, I chose to defend, which ended up being okay. However, if I do bid diamonds here, you'll notice what happens. And let me take you all the way down to the really bad boards. Here's Brad Moss doing the same thing initially, right? I think a lot of the pros, in fact, I'm pretty sure most of us bid a no trump. And that's not right. I think if you're going to bid something with this hand, two diamonds is going to be your better choice. And that's what most of you did, and you were rewarded handsomely here. But notice what happens when you bid a no trump and then it goes two spades on your left. If you choose to bid three diamonds, the robot is just going to assume that hearts is okay and bid four hearts. And you're going to just go down a bunch for like 7.9%, which is worse than my result, which was I actually let them make two spades when they should never have the chance to do that. The best results on this board, as you can see, are at the top. And these included overcalling two diamonds and then just selling out for three spades, which seems like it's pretty reasonable. Some people actually bid four diamonds and made it, which you can make, right? This should be a hand. Here's Benji K here, that once we see this, they can't really do anything to hurt you here, right? As long as you just kind of draw trump and ruff a couple of spades. And notice on a spade lead, it's super easy. It goes spade to the ace. And now if you ruff a couple spades, you're going to be sitting pretty in four diamonds. So four diamonds making four was great. However, defending three spades and getting it at least three tricks was an even better score. Right, and if you notice, you'll get it at least a couple of tricks here, and this is AZ Carroll here. You'll notice that you're destined to get it a couple of tricks, but then the robot actually misplays it a couple times and lets you get down three or down four in some of these spots. So here, defending was the right thing, and honestly, as we can see, just overcalling two diamonds ends up being pretty good, right? You overcall two diamonds, partner raises, and then when it gets to three spades, you have to look at this hand and say, okay, I might not take a bunch of diamond tricks, but I mean, I'm going to take a spade. They're going to have difficulty actually developing tricks in this suit. And I might get a ruff and some extra tricks as well. And honestly, when partner bids three diamonds, they have some values as well. So choosing to defend here was a pretty good choice. And as you can see, you were rewarded with 97.3. All the pros did terrible on this. In fact, I have to say, with my missed defense of two spades, I end up actually ahead of the rest of the pros with only 13.3%. Right? A lot of the pros were either playing four hearts with that weird choice of overcalling a no trump and then bidding three diamonds. That gets partner to somehow bid hearts. Not that the diamond bid is a transfer. Diamond bid should be natural, so the robot just takes it into their own hands. John Hurd, in fact, tried to talk the robot out of four hearts and bid five diamonds, and the robot just corrected to five hearts. And then he ends up going down 4 or 5 there. So here, the pros got off to a terrible start and couldn't recover, to be honest. The results here bore out that the amateurs were going to win this week. This next board, 3 no trump down 1, I have to show you how I played it because I had an easy squeeze on this hand, and I decided to try to sneak a trick in rather than play for a squeeze, but let me show you what I mean here. Watch what happens here on this play. It goes club, club, normal stuff, right? And I'm pretty sure this auction was pretty normal. Let's take a look at the other tables. Yeah, I mean, everyone's just sitting here playing 3 no trump. I don't know I'm not sure how we're opening 2 no trump with this hand, but yeah, you should have a no trump bid, partner should bid some Stamen, and then we'll play 3 no trump for sure. Here's Kevin Bathurst, actually. And actually, let's see how he played it. I'm guessing he probably played it correctly here. Ooh, whoa, wait a second. Here's the deal. Kevin lied. He was probably a little bit tilted from the first board, so he decided to deny a 4-card major. And he does have 17 here, so he knows he's going to play a game. And that bought a different lead. Take a look. That buys a spade lead, which gives you not only timing on this hand to set up tricks. Here you can just now lead a heart towards the dummy. Yeah, and it's going to just be sitting pretty for the rest of this one. And then he plays ace of diamonds. And now he has all those tricks necessary. If we go back to my table, notice that I respond to hearts and then just get a normal club lead, right? Which is the best lead for their side. They're getting off to their best suit. But now when it goes duck, duck, I win this 3rd club with the ace. And here comes a moment that I should always make it. Let me show you the double dummy here. I can always make it if I just start playing diamonds, right? So here, notice that my left-hand opponent has to pitch 3 cards. And also notice what they can never pitch, right? This left-hand opponent can never, ever pitch a spade, right? And if you notice why, if they pitch any of these spades, I get to play the ace of spades, and let me get rid of these numbers here for you. I get to play the ace of spades, and then low to the king, queen, and that 7 of spades will just be good. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for them to make a mistake like this. So if I just continue playing diamonds, when we know they can't pitch spades, they also can't pitch more than 2 hearts, right? They can't pitch 2 hearts and then the ace of hearts, obviously, because then I'll just take the rest of those heart tricks. So the best they can do for me to make 3 is to pitch 2 hearts and then one of their winning clubs. And now at this point, when I do play a heart, I'll let them in, but they will not have a club to cash. Here's the problem, though. From my perspective, I'm sitting here going, okay, I have 2 tricks in the bank. I have 3 diamonds, that's 5, and I have 3 spades, that's 8, right? So always keep that running total, and that's what I'm trying to do on this hand. And I'm saying, okay, well, maybe if I sneak a heart through, if they duck for some reason, which a robot might do sometimes, however, as you can see, it's not going to happen for me on this hand. Or if right-hand opponent has the heart, I can knock this out now and then just take my 9 tricks. So here's my mistake. I actually played a heart at this point, and now they just play ace of hearts and they cash. If, however, I just start playing diamonds, lefty is going to have to make a bad choice at some point, and that bad choice is going to benefit me. The best I think I can do, though, is making 3 on this line when they lead clubs, right? And if we go back to the beginning, let's take a look at the double dummy shebang here. There it is, right? When they lead a low club, the best we can do is make 3. So Kevin had the actual best line on this auction. If we go back to Kevin's table here, I think that's this player right here. When he bids 2 diamonds, he gets a spade lead, and then he just sets up hearts. And now he runs some diamonds, right? And he gets the same sort of pitches that we get. And look, they've already pitched, they haven't pitched a spade just yet, but I'm guessing at some point they will jettison a spade. Here he gives him a club. And look at that. Now they cash the ace of hearts and lead a heart to the queen, setting up hearts. And now to add insult to injury, they now just give him a little bit of a club position to pitch a spade. Okay, making 5. So good job, Kevin. If we see, okay, here, this is just not a normal response. And Brad actually, Brad opened a club with this hand and rebid 2-0 to show 18-19. He upgraded this, and he also, I'm guessing, gets a spade lead. Yeah, so here, if you go about this auction a little bit differently, right, and honestly, not responding here is kind of weird. Johnny Hurd did the same thing. The pros, the one thing I'm seeing that John and Brad do pretty often is they kind of increase their range by 1 point. So here, when South has 17, John and Brad both chose to open a club and rebid 2-0 to show 18-19. They're upgrading just by 1 point, at times, sometimes 2. But here, coming out smelling pretty good on this one for 3-0 Trump making 4. 3-0 Trump making 5 is even better. But again, you're going to have to bid kind of weird. And like I said, that can be really good for you. like this second board was, or it could also be really terrible for you, which the first board was for most of us that chose to bid a no trump. So that is a lesson for you. When you're opening up variants, it can be really good, or it could certainly be really, really terrible. And it was a half and half for each of these players here. And again, my mistake here is just not running diamonds, right? All I need to do is let them pitch something. It's going to be good for me. And I should have known that at that point. Here, after that terrible start, though, I feel like my game kind of became more normal-ish, right? I had some reasonable scores here. And let's take a look at the rest of these boards. Board number 3, at my table, I just let them play 3 spades and beat it a trick. And as you see, that's a pretty normal result for 75.1%. That's what most of us are doing. And here you'll notice that I opened 1 heart with this 11 count, right? And here's the thing. This is one of those scenarios, we've seen it quite a few times, where if we don't open, it may get passed out, and then just going plus is the important thing here. So at this point, when we open a heart and partner only bids 2 hearts, we're out of this auction, folks. Those of you that are up here and bid 4 hearts, you bid too much, and you were well rewarded. I will give you this, but you bid too much, guys. I'm sorry. So here, notice you have an 11 count, right? And your partner didn't Q bid. Your partner did not have a good enough hand to make a Q bid, so you do not want to be bidding with this hand. And recognize the only reason you're ever able to make 4, which honestly you should never be able to. I'm guessing that the opponents did something very good for you. Yeah, any sort of normal-ish lead here will get it a couple of tricks, including the ace of spades. Right? So you're not supposed to make this. You're supposed to just go plus and get 75.1% on this line here. Let them play 3 spades. And your partner chooses for you, right? Your partner bids 3 hearts because they're at their maximum, right? They say, okay, I have that near 10, even though that spade position is pretty bad. I'm going to give it 1 more and bid 3 hearts. But East bids 3 spades, correctly so. That's the law of total tricks from their side. And that's where we have to just let it go. And guys, look, 75% is not a bad score, right? Once we get this ace of hearts on the table, we can take another heart trick, but now we're setting up a winner for declare. Take a look. We're setting up a pitch in that dummy. So at this point, the robot actually correctly just starts to cash out, right? They start to lead their cards where we're taking tricks. And at this point, getting it down 1 is important. We don't want them to pitch any loser. So here, just doing your normal thing. Beating 3 spades, 1 trick will get you 75.1%. No need to go elsewhere for these weird scores that you might achieve in a different way. Just be normal, guys, and get your 75%. And that is board number 3. So board number 4, there were a lot of different ways to be successful on this board, depending on what you chose to do with your second bid. You should always open this hand 1 no trump. Anyone that did anything differently here is kind of opening up that variance that we always talk about. So here you have a solid 15. You're 5-3-3-2. Even if that club suit was a major suit, you would open this hand 1 no trump, right? So that's normal. And now it goes pass, and right-hand opponent bids 2 clubs, which for the robot is what's called Capoletti, right? So this 2 club bid is a single suited hand, right? They can't bid spades directly because that would actually be spades in a minor. So they have to show their single suit this way. I chose the double, which should just show club length, right? It shows rebiddable clubs in this suit. So I'm a little surprised partner didn't help with this hand and compete to clubs, right? This would be, to be honest, the most normal bid for North after redouble. I would just bid some clubs with the North hand, knowing we have a likely 9-card fit. But the robot chooses to be silent. And I have to tell you this, folks. As you can see, I'm going to show you some of the other results here and what might happen. But you're out of this conversation. You've already opened a no trump and then shown a real club suit. So you have to understand, once it gets to this 2 spades situation, you're done, right? You're done with the auction. You've said exactly what you have. In fact, you may have overshared in this spot. So here, just let them play 2 spades. And as you can see, I mean, double dummy, no matter what I do, they're supposed to make 2 over tricks, right? And that's exactly what happened at my table. I didn't really do anything crazy here. However, when we look at the other tables, a lot of different auctions produce different decisions. Now notice this. Look at this weird auction. Once we bid a no trump, if we choose to pass, which to be honest, I felt good about sharing my club strength and my length. Obviously, it's not going to work out well for me. But here, your partner actually, after the 2 diamond bid, which is also artificial, folks. This is just, hey, partner, tell me what suit you have, okay? Our partner volunteers 2 hearts with their 4-card heart holding, which is ridiculous. And then if we raise the 3 hearts, we end up actually making 9 tricks on this hand, right? So here, some of you that open a club, that's not your right wheelhouse there. But here, I don't blame you for necessarily bidding 3 hearts because I would expect partner to have 5 here as well for their free call. So very weird choice by the robot here, but you come out smelling like a rose if you play 3 hearts, 98.1%. These other scores here are just some variance on what we already saw and some difference in results. Here, if you actually just defend 2 spades like this, and here's another kind of normalish auction, and they actually play a little bit more weirdly, at some point you get an extra trick here. I wasn't able to get one more trick at this table, but again, being normal in the bidding, actually get you 79.2%. Worst case, my worst case, I was still above 50%, right? Letting them make 10 tricks in 2 spades, which looks like it's pretty normal, but you know, at other tables, they can play it slightly differently. And this was a very weird set for me, especially. I played more defense in this set than I usually ever do, right? On board 1, board 3, board 4, board 5, and board 8, I played defense, right? More than half the boards, which is super weird in a best 10 tournament, but can sometimes produce pretty reasonable results. And we're halfway through. I've defended 3 out of these hands, and honestly, I have above average on 2 of the 3. The first one we already talked about. Interesting, odd choices that led to a poor score for most of the pros. This last one here, though, I can't believe the robot actually chooses to bid 2 hearts with this hand, but I guess, especially after you open a no trump here, really weird choice, but you do come out doing quite well if you get to play 3 hearts. If you just defend spades for 9 tricks, though, you do pretty well. The people that got to play clubs are the interesting ones. And here, this is a club opener. Guys, open a no trump always. Don't worry about this. But here, I think this one, after you double and then bid clubs, I think that's a bit much. Same here, guys. You did really well, 91.2%. But not necessarily the place you want to be. I think this is the other choice. Just bidding 3 clubs over 2 clubs could be a spot, and that gets you another good result as well. Some people were actually able to make 3 clubs, and that was more of that bidding directly over. Or actually, we had 2 shots there. You double and then bid clubs. I would just double, to be honest. I was happy with the way my auction went, and here I think you communicated this well. You just your partner kind of dropped the ball, in my opinion. If partner's willing to bid 2 hearts without you saying anything after 1 no trump, how can they not be willing to bid 3 clubs when you actually show real clubs? That's what this double should be. And in fact, that says rebiddable and good clubs. How does partner not take that for some sort of auction that they want to get into this? Oh, well, all right. All we can do is describe our hand and bank this for next time. Let's take a look at the next 4 hands. The last 4 hands here. The 4 hearts by the East making 1, for me, was worth 66.9%. And this is such a weird hand because partner opens 2 spades perfectly, to be honest. That's a great 2-spade bid. They have a good suit. They're near the top of their range. They have reasonable shape. East gets in there with 3 hearts. Hard to blame them with their 5-5 shape. And you're parked out on this hand, folks. There's no way you're bidding with this hand. You don't want to introduce a club suit here for any reason, even though, to be honest, that would work out quite well for you. And I think we'll see some people in the results that chose to do that. It's usually terrible, terrible, terrible stuff to be doing. And honestly, I'm okay defending hearts and maybe getting a club lead so I can get my partner a rough and, you know, get some tricks that way. As you can see, that's not how it's going to go for you. But look at this, guys. I just sat back, defended 4 hearts, beat it a trick, and still got 66.9%. Now, the other tables, as predicted, look at this one, 6 clubs making 6. So if you bid 4 clubs, partners are going to key card and get you into slam. That's nutso. Right here, Brad. Wow, Brad. Who else gets to play 5 clubs? Brad, Rain, Bama D, and Jag here. What a nutso score here. What's 4-0 here? That's Blackwood for clubs, and Brad lies, obviously. He just says, hey, I have 0 or 3 key cards. Don't get excited, partner. Do not bid a slam. You preempted. And that's the problem. They take 4 clubs is super strong, guys. Look at that. It says 22 plus high card points. So here, you're gambling when you bid 4 clubs. And at this point, once it goes 5 clubs double, you get to actually play this. And I don't think they can beat you, right? Certainly not on a club lead, but let's take a look. No, I guess you're always supposed to go down 1 here. But they end up bamboozling them for a trick. Spade, boom, they should beat it now. They have to figure out to lead a diamond, and they didn't. There it is. And now we'll draw a trump. We'll enter that dummy, and we'll play those spades and pitch those diamonds. Or we could just rough some hearts as well. This is going to be a beautiful hand to play 5 clubs. Kind of nutso. 3-0 is something I considered. Right, this is the one bid I would think about. And here's Johnny Hurd. This was one bid that you might get lucky on. Right? And what I mean by that is you need clubs to come home. What's the likelihood of clubs coming home when partner's already preempted 2 spades? Not very likely. In fact, partner's the one that's likely to be short there. So here you get very lucky to be able to take 9 tricks. In fact, you're not supposed to take 9 on this either, I don't think. Let's see, is there always an automatic? No, not on a red suit lead here. And here, after they open up hearts, this should be all she wrote, right? Do they cash both? Oh my God, they give you your 9th trick right away. Look at this, guys. There's your 9th trick. Thank you very much. I will now win that in dummy. Cash my 10 of diamonds. Yeah. All right. Good luck, guys. Well done. Congrats, right? But here, those of you that played 4 hearts, if you double it, this is a weird double. I don't like doubling because my hand is so oddly shaped. This is a time where they might just roll this thing. And also, guys, let's be honest. When we double with the robot involved, stuff can happen. Although here they did preempt, so they're less likely to bid. Doubling got you a much better score, though, right? 94% versus 66.9. But I think the moral to this story is really, let's defend, guys. Either double it or don't, right? But you're going to get a very good score by just sitting back and defending rather than taking your life in your hands with these crazy bids. Or honestly, I think 3-0 is the least crazy bid here. And only because the 4 club bid that we looked at here that Brad and Rain were making here is going to be construed as such a powerful hand that you're just going to bring the robot into Nutso Town. You're going to bring him into Crazy Town a little bit. And that's not what you want, right? You don't want the robot putting you in a super weird spot like we saw on board 1. Here, I think Johnny Hurd makes the best of the bad bids, right? And I would consider this a bad bid. But remember, these pros are working under a really terrible assumption that that first board is correctly terrible for them. So they were really trying to make up their bad boards at the beginning, and to pretty good results in these couple of boards we're looking at here. Let's take a look at board 6. And here at my table, board 6 was one of my better scores of the day. I just played 4 spades, making 4. And here it's important to recognize that you found your spade fit, even though you have a 7-card heart suit, right? So you're missing a 9-card heart fit on this hand. But the most important thing is you're in a competitive auction. You've actually found a major suit fit already, an 8-card major suit fit. There's no reason to mess around with hearts anymore. Play spades, and hopefully you'll be able to pitch away losers on that heart suit. Here, when we get to the other tables, you'll notice that some players actually made 11 tricks on this. And here, let's just take a look at who we can find in the 4 spades making 11 tricks that we might know about here. Same auction, and then we get the lead of the diamond to the ace, and then it goes ace of spades, and now we actually know that we're getting a bad spade break, and at this point we now still get to rough that spade, and now it looks like they are going to just be able to take some other spade trick, but I would guess on this one, and in fact, look at this, this is interesting. They get to actually just trump coup the left-hand opponent here. They can play now a heart, and they'll pitch a diamond, and they'll play another heart, pitch a club, and now they're just going to sit back and wait until they trump with their left-hand opponent's cards, right? If they wait here, they'll play another heart, they'll pitch another club, and then they'll get down to the end. We'll just put the king of clubs on the table, and now lefty will have to rough. So here, they got the north hand down to 2 trumps exactly, which is exactly what left-hand opponent has. Now they just have to have winners to play, and this is a weird finesse situation, right? South is just going to continue to play winners. Even if they have to pitch that ace of clubs, they will. And when they put that king of clubs on the table, lefty will just have those 2 trumps left, and that'll be all she wrote. So here, making 11 tricks, well done for those of you that did that. Here's Brad Moss kind of splitting the difference. I mean, do not do this at home, folks. He opened a no trump with a 7-card major. Again, because he thinks he's behind. We're not going to ever do this, but we'll give Brad his due here. It goes jack of hearts, king. They lead your short suit, obviously. And now he just has a whole bunch of rippers here where he gets to take 10 tricks. And he figures out what's going on, and he just starts playing all these hearts, and he just watches pretty closely what's happening, and he takes 10 tricks. For those normal people who just played 4 spades making 4, here's the spot where I've gotten this a little bit better, right? At this moment, they actually get their spade rough in, but if I had drawn trump much earlier here, ace of spades, spade, I now have a much better opportunity to take one more trick on this one here. Here at this moment, I should. No, I guess I can't do it. And let's take a look. What was the slight difference we had here? Here, the diamond was led, and that just gives us an equal chance to make this. Let's take a look at what happened here. This was the board we were looking at where we took 11 tricks, and here diamond. And now, yeah, once you draw trump, initially, you can actually get to a point where you're taking an extra trick, especially if they make a little bit of a mistake at some point by just roughing in. And at this point, it still looks like you're supposed to not make more than 10. I guess we did make a mistake here. All right, there's that heart to the, and there it is. Yeah, there it is, folks. Not getting their partner their club rough is their big downside there. And at my table, once you play a heart pretty quickly, they develop that club rough, or they at least realize it right away. And here's my downfall, right? Now they know it right away, unfortunately, too early. Okay, let's take a look at board number 7 here. 2 more to go. I felt okay about this result as well. I just got to play 3 spades. I opened a spade. It went 2 hearts on my left. Perfect, right? Normal overcall. Partner cubed, right? 3 hearts. And here's an interesting hand to deal with. You're kind of close, but one thing for me, the heart suit and the diamond suit were just downgrades as far as I'm concerned, right? Queen third of the suit that they're overcalling at the 2 level vulnerable to my left doesn't look like a really good holding. And jack small isn't much better, right? And a suit that neither of us have bid, right? Partner's just shown 10 points. When partner shows this 10-point hand, we have to understand that if they have closer to 12 or 13, they're likely to bid a game themselves. So I don't want to bid a game yet, knowing that my partner could have only 10 or 11 or even this sort of shapely 9 with extra shape. With their doubleton, they're adding a point to this. I don't really want to be playing game opposite these sorts of hands. So I chose to just pass. And here, 72.2% isn't too bad. And in fact, that is the absolute best result. Those people that were shooting at the end, trying to get a better score, get punished severely, right? And notice, it's nothing you can do. You have 4 heart losers. Sorry, you have 4 red suit losers. Ace, king. And what are you pitching him on? Nothing. Nothing at all. There aren't any squeezes, anything that's going to help you on this hand. You are dead to the water on this one with 4 losers. So here, notice how average results can just be good, right? 72.2, because you beat up on all the people that said, whoa, I'm having a bad game. Let me bid 4 spades and hope I can make it up in this bidding. That is good retribution for you guys. Right? So there are some of the more aggressive bidders. And finally, in this sort of deal, they get a little bit punished when the rest of us just get to get 72.2. We'll take it, right? All right, and the last board, last chance to excel. Board number 8 just is a weird result where a pass out would have gotten you the best score. However, I don't like to pass out in robot tournaments, but if you used the rule of 15, you would have been handsomely rewarded on this hand. Let me show you why. Pass out was going to get you 93.6%. And let's talk about the rule of 15 in action. The rule of 15 only exists when it goes 3 passes and you are now in the 4th chair, as we were here. So technically, this rule would have saved you or would have earned you 93.6% on this board. And here's how it goes. You add the total number of high card points in your hand, which we see is 12. You add to that the total number of cards you have in the spade suit, which here on this hand is only 2. If this number comes to 15 or higher, you should open. But here it comes to 14, so you should pass this out, even with a 12 count, even though you're not supposed to pass 12 counts. This is all about the spade length because this is about who's going to control the level, right? We can lock up a score of 0, which is what the pass outs did here. They locked up 0 points, which means if I go minus instead, which I did, I let them make 3 hearts, my score is way worse. In fact, letting them make 3 hearts for plus 140 is 55.4%. Going down in 4 diamonds, which is probably not where you belong on this hand either, would have gotten you 87.5%, but that's still a minus score. The 0 plus 0 minus 0 got you 93.6%. These outliers are kind of nutso here, so we're not going to deal with those. But those are obviously very good scores to get your plus score here as magic, because pass is just as good, 93.6%. Think of all the work you did up there to get those 6 extra percent or 6.5% extra when you could have just passed it out for no work at 93.6. And to be honest, by the book, it is right to pass this last board out. However, I will tell you this. it is usually wrong to pass out boards in this best hand type because you kind of know what's going on, right? You're going to know how to play this most often. I think with shorter, like avoidance bays or a stiff, maybe I would have been convinced to pass, but I still hate passing in these spots. It just feels like you're leaving stuff on the table. This would happen to be a very good rule following situation for you. If you pass this out, like we see Rich here, and Rob V2 and Smoky Canadian, it looks like, who I believe won this week. Congratulations. You're getting 93.6 for just doing your job by passing. My auction here was, I think, pretty normal. I went a diamond. It's a very good double by left-hand opponent. I like that bit a lot. All right, good shape. This is the time where if that club suit was a major, you would overcall it. But because it's a club suit and you're 4-3 in the majors, you're best off doubling, right? Get partner into this auction, and now it goes a spade, and righty bids 3 hearts, and now you're cooked, right? You're not going to bid again. And the people that got to 4 diamonds, I believe, they opened. Wow. So Johnny opened his reverse minor and then got to diamonds somehow. And that's Kevin as well. They both, these two are partners. These two are doing some wacky stuff. They opened a club. It went a spade. Now they parked out the opponent because now it goes a no trump, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds. Partner shapes out, and now they know it's okay to bid some diamonds here. So very lucky spot for you guys. That's why you guys earn the big bucks over there, and that's why you're going to the World Championships. But I promise you, these guys don't bid this way normally. They're 2 of the most normal players as far as down the middle type action, and that's also why they're so good. But here, they know how to manipulate their robots sometimes to their benefit, but as we've seen as well, sometimes to your detriment when you're trying to, control the things around the table. So here, this rule of 15 at the end would have earned you 93.6, much better than me just defending 3 hearts and letting them make it for 55.4. But as we see, interesting results and very good results by the amateurs this week. You kept all of the pros out of the top 10. We had some pros probably forgetting to play because it's the end of the Nationals, and that is such a mental grind that, it's hard to kind of remember to hop on the BBO and play an 8-board tournament. But they will, I'm sure, be back next week, and we'll see a really good finale to this event. So thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you next weekend at the tables, guys. Take care.